will focus on giving you the skills needed to lead visitors around a museum, historic site, or an art gallery. Whether you're simply asked to show a visitor to a washroom or regularly act as a guide, it's important that every staff member have skills in these areas. In this module, we'll focus on public speaking, being a guide, situations that may arise on a tour, and lastly, sensitivity and accessibility.
Whether giving tours, leading a confused visitor to an exhibit, or simply interacting with the public and answering a question, speaking skills are an essential asset. Always speak in a clear, audible, and even tone. Keep the pace moderate and comfortable. Speaking fast is a common result of nervousness and can be confusing. A slow, droning monologue can quickly bore your audience. Maintain eye contact and connect with the visitor. Use your hands to express yourself and become more engaging. Beware of acronyms, idioms, and jargon, as museums, art galleries, and historic sites attract visitors of all ages and backgrounds. If you are a tour guide, or part of your responsibilities at a site include giving tours at the request of visitors, you will constantly be interacting with interested visitors. This is a very important job as you become part of the learning process, helping visitors experience the site's collection and exhibitions. Some take this job very seriously. The Canadian Association of Tour Guides in Toronto display a photo and quote of Aristotle on their website. While you may not be that intense, the association does make some succinct ethical suggestions. Let's take a look at some of those. When acting ethically, a tour guide maintains a professional manner with clients, accepts each tour as a serious commitment, maintains a professional appearance. If required, the guide may wear specific clothing as defined by their contract of employment, is an expert on the subject, and gives accurate and object information highlighting points of interest. Many sites have several testing processes a guide must pass before being able to deliver tours to the public. Gives an enthusiastic and engaging presentation. Shows sensitivity and tailors the tour to the needs of their group, while not sharing their views on controversial subjects. These suggestions are more than just ethics. Following these points would result in overall excellent service from a tour guide. That was a lot of information, so here are some simple concepts to remember. Engage the audience. Don't be too serious and ask your group questions. Pause for effect, alter your speed and volume. Exude confidence. Steer clear of politics and don't make culturally insensitive comments. Being a part of a visitor's experience at a museum, art gallery, or historic site is both a large responsibility and a great amount of fun. You take part in both preserving and expressing the culture of our site. Now let's try some of these concepts we've just discussed. Choose a partner and each take turns interpreting a fictional exhibit to one another, each playing a different type of visitor. When delivering a tour, or simply interpreting an exhibit, there may be many situations that could arise between you and your visitor group. Here are a few examples. A visitor disagrees with your interpretation. A visitor becomes a nuisance by asking silly and irrelevant questions. Some members of the group chat loudly while you're talking. A visitor takes over the tour. Children are behaving inappropriately, and adults in the group are not taking responsibility. Situations like these are not easy to deal with. In these situations, customer service skills such as assertiveness and rationality are very important. Always remain calm and do not become frustrated. It's important to discuss the proper ways to deal with issues during a tour with supervisors beforehand. The necessary reaction may vary wildly depending on both the context and the site. For example, at some sites, tour guides are in character and must remain that way for the duration of the tour. If an issue arises, what do? Visitors come to our sites out of interest and are there to enjoy themselves. so any issue that arises is likely easily resolved. A huge range of people come to visit our wonderful and interesting member sites. Because of this, we must ensure the visitor experience is both accessible and sensitive to all. Visitors who have difficulties because of their cultural background or have accessibility concerns deserve to experience all our sites have to offer. To accomplish this, we must understand and value differences. To be sure we are maintaining both sensitivity and accessibility, we have to consider potential barriers that visitors may face. The following are a list of accessibility barriers. Attitudinal barriers, having a negative perception or pity toward a person. Physical and architectural barriers, features of the building or space that restrict access. Communication and information barriers. Information is not easily understood because of its specific presentation. Technological barriers. Technology cannot be modified to support various assistive devices. Organizational barriers, existing policies or procedures within an organization. Being aware of the barriers that our visitors may face is an important aspect of being prepared to lead visitors through the site. Of course, it is not only existing barriers, but our personal actions that may have a great effect on a visitor's experience. Never make an assumption about a visitor's history, background, or their needs. Knowledge is the best approach. Being aware of the types of concerns visitors have and how to mitigate them is the best tool you have. If you're unsure what approach to take, ask a supervisor before you begin work. It is their responsibility to have the latest legislative policies and other government information available for you to review. Be patient. Speak directly to a person and not through a third party or assistant. Of course, staff members rarely mean to be insensitive. This is why it's important to be aware at all times. Not only would this cast your site in a bad light, but no person deserves to feel bad about who they are. All in all, do your best to make any interaction, tour, or program as inclusive as possible. True inclusion means the opportunity to participate in all aspects of your organization, its programs, and what it offers. Providing access to collections, educational programs, employment, and volunteer opportunities, and providing access to information about what's on display and what's happening in your facility. The best thing you can ask any customer to ensure you're maintaining both accessibility and sensitivity is the simple question, how can I help? Never make assumptions about what the visitor may require. Simply ask questions and do your best to help. Every visitor simply wants to experience all our sites have to offer, and it is our job to ensure that they are able to do so.
Interacting with visitors and leading them through your site is a very important part of your role. As you personally help visitors experience the history and culture our sites display, being both competent and confident is the best course of action. Please take some time now to look at the questions in your workbook, and thank you for watching.